Okay, good afternoon everybody. We'll start with the broadcast section, and that will be Paul Gilmore for Sky Sports News. Paul.
Thank you. Hi Frank.
Hi Paul.
Have you any fresh injury concerns or any players returning from injury?
No, we're all good, as we were.
You said after the Arsenal game, you alluded to the fact, especially first half, you said the players do care, but they'll be too nice to play against. Have you addressed that on the training pitch this week? What have you seen on the training pitch this week?
Addressed up the training pitch. I think it's well. Firstly, to be clear, I think when I said the players care, I know they do, because this is I've been a player and a coach now a long time, and players all care. They've all got their reasons to care. The reality is the action that comes from that, and sometimes there can be many reasons why. It brings maybe an underperformance or not so great results. So I don't think that's something that's like a training pitch issue as such. Of course, that's working with the players as a group and individually to try and make sure that everyone's on point. And of course, then you work on the training pitch. But since Arsenal, it's been pretty much recovery and small prep this morning to play. So there's not the turnaround and chance to deal with some of these issues, which are more sort of fundamental issues, I guess.
Todd Boehly said this week that he's determined to fix everything, get it right. What did you make of the comments? Can you have any sort of input, given your standing at the club, your understanding of this club, and can you help him with that process?
No, I think it's a good thing. It's to speak so positively. It's what I've found since I've been here. Good intentions where the club's going to be taken. So that's good. And then from my point of view, I don't know. I'm here in this period. I'm working with the squad at the minute to try and get some form of turnaround in terms of feeling, performance, and then results. And other than that, I think it's obviously he's the owners of the club to take those bigger decisions.
What have you been told about the managerial situation? Any update there? Any information?
No, nothing. No.
What's your vision kind of for Chelsea next season? Like, if you could sort of sum up in just what needs to improve exactly to get the club.
It's not. That's not for me to talk about now. I'm here till the end of the season, so I don't think my vision now at this point is not worthy. But you know what I mean. It's not for me to answer at this point.
I was just going to ask you about Badiashile. Earning a lot of plaudits earlier in the season for his performances. What have you seen with him on the training pitch, and is he close to kind of coming back into the fold?
Very close, because he couldn't play in the Champions League for me. He played against Brighton, which is a difficult match probably for everybody, and of course he's close, and in competition with Thiago and Wesley and Trevor in that area of the pitch, he's very close. He's training well, and I think he's come here as a lot of players have come from a different league at a youngish age into the Premier League. I think it's understandable to have moments of maybe game time, maybe moments of not. You're to a degree a developing player, but probably more just finding your feet in this league as young players. So I think that's one of the things that we find in this season is, in a normal case, maybe a club like Chelsea or others, these sort of players come in amongst big stability in the squad and the team and have them time and can find it. And at the moment, that's not quite the case. So I think to give credit to those players themselves, that's not easy to take some of that responsibility on their shoulders. But what they are all doing is trying to work and keep going, and I'm here and we're here as staff to support that.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Paul PLP.
Frank, what have you made of the job Gary O'Neill's done at Bournemouth, having been most people's favourites for going straight back down?
Yeah, done a great job. Full credit to him. I don't know any of the details of it behind the scenes, but he's obviously done a lot of good work there. And what he's created is a team with high energy, high quality, good feeling around the whole club, feeling of togetherness, it seems, from the outside. And considering where he came in, I think he's done a really good job, and he's getting the credit I think he rightfully deserves.
Talking about Dominic Solanke, what do you remember of training with him?
I remember training with him. He was a young man coming in to train with first team at the time, so he was in and out, but clearly a high talent. And I know that from my links with the academy and the coaches there, that would speak a lot about their high regard for him. And sometimes different players take different routes, and he's taken his route. And now it's good to see him performing, because he's still young, because he's talked about a lot as a young man. To see him performing so well, and he's a big threat and a very good player for them. So I'm pleased for him on an individual note, because he has his origins here at the club, but he's what might seem a difficult path sometimes, at the minute he's performing really well.
He's had moments when he's been prolific, particularly last year in the Championship. How much do you see him as a proper all-round striker now?
I think that's exactly what he is, and he's showing it, and that's what you want in a modern day number 9, all-round, which means you of course have to get your goals and assists, but also I think that one of Dominic's big things has always been his work ethic on and off the ball. So if you want to press from the front, you need people that can put in that energy and effort and the capacity to do it, but also have an understanding of what it is. And I think Dominic's had that. Probably been well trained in this academy, to be fair, but individually I think full credit to him.
And just one on you, you've had this remarkable career, you've got a family, you've got presumably lots of opportunities that come your way. Where do you still get the hunger from to manage when it doesn't look much fun from the outside?
I know, you should probably go and ask every Premier League manager that same question. You know what I mean? It's what we do. So I'm fortunate maybe with the family and the career behind me, but I'm 44 years of age. I'm just working like you're working. Is your job a delight every day, or?
It seems more fun than yours.
Does it?
I get home earlier.
Okay. You might not.
Thanks,
I might
Paul.
get home later. Not from work.
Talk Sport at the back, Bradley.
Hi Frank,
Hi.
Hope you're well. As a club legend and someone who obviously knows this club so well, how much are you hurting about the current situation right now and what people are saying about Chelsea as a club, but also I suppose your managerial record as well?
Yeah, I'm not hurting because I don't know why it might be me, but I've been part of this club through big success. So when you see the highs and lows that any sport can give you moments of adversity. I think we at Chelsea have been pretty fortunate for 20 years, and I think when the spotlight is on you, it's on you, and you as a professional player, coach, you have to understand and handle that, because every other team will have their moments of these periods, and even as a fan base, I think you have to. Yeah, you can be frustrated, you want more, whatever, but I also think you can be very understanding of what's been in the last 20 years at Chelsea Football Club. So I'm not. It's not one to for me personally to sit on and feel hurt by too much. More as in, what's the action that's going to get us out of it? Now the action this season is not going to get us in the Champions League. It's not going to get us maybe in the top 8 or whatever. Who knows what it might get? But it'll be like the first small step, and you have to consider it in that period. And of course, maybe not all fans want to hear that, but as I say, it's a reality which I've come back into. So it's not. It's just something that we have to work at to be back.
And this has been the season of the interim manager in the Premier League. Obviously, Sam Allardyce back at Leeds this week. Do you feel like interim managers can still have the same impact at a club that we've seen at a club like Chelsea in the past, or do you feel like players need more stability or long-term thinking now?
I think every season, every situation is different. I'm the third manager, maybe fourth, but Bruno did one game, but that's. So you can see probably from that it's been a tough season all round, and every situation is different, and it's a new situation for me because all my jobs have been permanent before. The last time I came to Chelsea there was a lot of upheaval, but we had a big long pre-season to work with a squad and put it together, and you could see the benefits from that as that year went on, and this job's just different. So I think it might be more common in the modern day because of the pressures of the big business of modern football in the Premier League. And that's it.
And lastly from me, you mentioned the fans earlier on, and for those who are maybe listening to us on the TV or the radio or reading it in the newspapers, what would your message be to Chelsea fans going into the last 5 or 6 games of the season?
But they will stick with the team. So I don't really have to tell them much more than that. I think you see that with Chelsea fans at the end of the Arsenal game. The club has gone from when I first joined to a really big football club to a monster of a football club worldwide. So the fan base goes much wider than that. And as I say, it's had a lot of success. But all we can say in this period, everybody from the outside wants to say there's not much on it. But myself and for the players, we have to show an immense amount of pride in what we do in these games. Because as I say, it's the first step into the future. Now, will we need a reboot of some sense in the summer? Sure. That's clear because we're not where we want to be. But at the moment, we have to do what's right in front of us. And the fans can be sure, from my point of view, that I'll be pushing for that. And I hope they can see the rewards of that, whatever they are.
That's great. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last question in the broadcast section today. Alex Howe, BBC.
Hi Frank. Things are tough at the moment. You said you've seen things you don't usually see from a Chelsea team. Are you feeding back to those higher up in the club about things about players or difficulties you're seeing on day-to-day or on match days?
Yeah, I've got communication about everything that's going on, because that's part of my role. As I say, as much as we're in a results business in this period, it's looking to how this cannot be the same next season. So of course my views, having worked here before, having worked with the club, having an understanding of the club, a lot of the stuff, the squad, you know, I think my opinion can be valid, and I can express that as I go. Yeah.
Does it frustrate you that maybe performances and results are having an effect on you as a manager?
It comes with the territory, you know. I think if you manage, I've had 3 permanent jobs, and this is my 4th as such. And I think probably everybody understands the difficulty of the situation that I've come into. I certainly understood it coming in, especially in those first 2 or 3 weeks where we played 5 games, 2 against Real Madrid, and these things without much time to really lay much down. You have to accept that as a consequence of the job. And as much as you have your great moments where, you know, everything feels easy, you have your moments where they're not so. But that's part of it.
So is it a case that the stats don't tell the full picture?
Well, I don't know. If you want to list our last 4 Premier League games, no, they're not good. Right, but that is the full picture. Do you know what I mean? So that's, I think, something this season is a reality. Our league position is a reality. You know, our points are a reality. Our goal scored is a reality of the season. So I think, you know, that's obviously we've had 4 managers through the season. So I think there's a reality with the club of where it's at. But that's not my job to focus too much on that, or to think about what stats would be produced from the outside, because that's commonplace in the modern world in football. You can make any stat be in the moment, and as a coach and as a player, the biggest thing is your next game, your next step.